Hey everyone, welcome back to Operation Variation, turn 6 for China. All right, it's going to be a big turn for China, making some big moves, so let's get into it with tech. China is going for PGMs, trying to get to stage 2, AMD trying to get to stage 3, and chemical trying to get also to stage 3. All right, let's see what kind of dice luck China can conjure up. Very little. So they got PGM stage 2, which is nice for the long term, but other things would have helped them more this turn. So, all right, let's talk about unit purchase. Okay, China had, I think, 14 IPP plus 4 battle stars. So they're going to use the 4 battle stars to pay off the damage on some bases, thanks to the Soviet Far East Command. They're going to buy 2 early gen MBTs and a field artillery for 6. They're going to do that twice for a total of 12, and then a SPAG for 2. And this guy's coming out of the Taiwan box, and he'll be placed at the end of the turn. All right, let's get into combat movement. Okay, so China is declaring war on Laos. Laos has 2 light infantry defending, and China will be bringing in everything here, which is on this card right here, which is 2 light infantry and a field artillery from Southern Yunnan. Plus, will be supported by cruise missile. Oh no, the cruise missile is going somewhere else. The medium bomber coming in 1, 2, 3 into Southern Yunnan. And also, 1 early gen fighter will be coming from Guangxi 1, 2 in there to support that attack. That one could be a little dicey if those 2 light infantry roll super well. We'll just have to see. Then the big one is we're making a big move into North Vietnam with everything from this orange army card here. That's going to be about 6 light infantry, next gen main battle tank, 3 early gen fighters, and a medium bomber. And the Soviets are going to decline to scramble into either combat because they don't think either one they can really turn the tide. They probably could in Laos, but they don't want to take the risk because they're going to need those planes, which are essentially irreplaceable, to try to retake North Vietnam. So Soviets are not going to scramble. Then the Chinese fleet is going to take some time off from Taiwan, other than the single anti-ship missile they'll fire from the major shipyard in Zhejiang 1, 2 to try to snipe one of the Taiwan ships. But we're going to try to take out these SSKs here in P-36. And to do that, we're going to bring from the Chinese fleet here the destroyer, the 2 SSKs, and the SSN from here. The fighter from Beijing is going to go 1, 2, 3 and pair up in this attack as well. And yeah, we're going to hope one of those SSKs doesn't get a first strike in the first round. That could make things dicey. The other major move we are making is we are actually going for South Korea. It's FEC possessed, and this will create an interesting 3-way option for PAC and China. But the amphibious assault ship is going to come out of port. He's going to pick up these 2 Marines. These 2 airborne are both going in as well. And then this air superiority fighter from Zhejiang is going in. This attack helicopter from Zhejiang is going in. And this early gen fighter from Beijing is also going in. And they are going up against only an early gen MBT and an airborne. So, yeah. And then I think that's our final combat movement. So I'm going to set some of these up on the battle board, and we're going to get going. Okay, here we have the battle for Laos. This is in mountains, and China is going to use Kim with the field artillery. Unfortunately, it's only shooting at a 1. So China in this battle is really going to need the medium bomber and the early gen fighter to do a lot of work for them. So here we go. And they both miss. Okay. Well, the field artillery missed. I rolled 2 dice because it's double dice. All right, so let's go from the top. We will do the medium bomber at a 5. That misses. We will do the early gen fighter at a 3. That misses. And we'll do the 2 light infantry at a 1. Those both miss. Wow, pretty far away from any hits there. And then we will roll the 2 now Soviet light infantry defending at a 4. And they both miss. Wow, amazing dice rolling here. Okay, so round 2, the field artillery retires. And so I will roll, so these will be the 2 light infantry. The early gen is in green. I'll put that green here just to remind us. Okay, so we can roll these all at once. They all miss. Okay, this is not good. First 2 rounds, no hits, not good because let's see what the Soviets can do in response. And they get 1 hit. So that has to be the light infantry. And wow. Okay, China's going to go again. So here's how this is going to be. We'll roll these all together. And all misses again for China because the pink is the light infantry. So we could do some major damage here as the Soviets to the Chinese. There's a miss and there's a hit. So China's going to have to take the early gen fighter, and then it's going to retreat the light infantry from the battle. They're all going to retreat back to Southern Union. Okay, here's the battle for North Vietnam. Soviets this time are the only ones who have first strike or Kim, so they're going to get 4 dice at 3. See what they can do. Oh my gosh. So they not only got 2 hits. So that's Kim disruption, which will move the next gen down to a 4 because it's mountains. But that's also a first strike hit, so China's going to lose an infantry. All right, so we will roll the Chinese medium bomber at a 5. Misses. Next gen MBT, any hit will be land target select. 9 misses. 3 early gen fighters. All right, that's something. There's 2 hits. So let's get a hit tracker here. That'll probably be the field artillery. And now China's got, what, 5 light infantry looking for 1s. Oh, those are low numbers, man, but they didn't get them. So, yep, Soviets will lose the field artillery. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 of their own light infantry in response. And there's 1 hit, so that'll be 1 more. And China will go again. Need these heavy hitters to do their thing. Now Kim, I think, is just the first round of combat. If I'm wrong about that, I'll be corrected. But I think the next gen goes back up to 1. So, all right, target select no longer matters. So I will roll the medium bomber and the next gen MBT together. And there's 1 hit. The 3 EGFs at 3. There's 2 more hits. That's 3 hits total. And then 4 light infantry at a 1. And they all miss. So that's 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. And Vietnamese will respond at 4 or less. There's 1 hit. That's a 10. Okay. All right. China gets 2 at 5. Miss, miss. 3 at 3. hit. And then, what now? 4 at 1. This would be overkill. They don't hit anyway, so. And then Vietnamese get 1 back at 4, and of course that's a hit. So China will take North Vietnam. So for North Vietnam, China goes up from 9 to 10. Since Vietnam now aligns to the Soviet Far East Command, they go from 18 to 19 for South Vietnam. Okay, this is the battle for South Korea. The Chinese air superiority fighter will retire. Since it's mountains, the Marines and the airborne are down 1, but then the attack chopper for China boosts the Marines back up to 3. All right, let's roll from the top. Chinese attack helicopter misses. The 2 Marines and the early gen fighter. There's 1 hit. And then the 2 airborne at 2. Miss. All right, so in defense, so Soviets will lose the early gen MBT. They both fire back at 2, and they get 1 hit. So Chinese will lose an airborne. All right, round 2. So attack chopper at a 6. That's a hit. Let's just do some overkill. The 3s, no. The airborne infantry, no. So the airborne for the Soviets rolls back at a 2, and that misses. So China will take South Korea, and in so doing, we'll go up to 2, and that'll put the Soviets down to 17. Our final attack was up here with a cruise missile. We were going to go 1-2 into a surgical strike with SpySat here in southern Manchuria. There's no enemy SAM, so just need to roll a single dice and see if we can get a hit. So let's see what we can get here. Can you see? Yeah, so we're looking for a 5 or less. Ah, got a hit. So with SpySat, China will. It wasn't a 1, so I can't take the next gens. But I can take. I'll take one of the regular main battle tanks. All right, back for non-combat. Oh, and I forgot a battle. It's down here. It's the naval battle. This one could also be dicey, literally. Okay, so the biggest, most important role are the 2 Soviet SSKs, which get first strike. So let's see what they can do. They're looking for 3s or less. And of course, one of them got a hit. So we'll lose one of the Chinese SSKs. Oh, and that's that's not a surface target select. If they're SSNs, it would be. All right. Don't want to lose the destroyer because without the destroyer, I can no longer pair the air unit in subsequent rounds. So, oh no, this only lasts for 1 round anyway. So since it's subs defending alone. So, all right. So we will roll. Actually, the 2 SSKs and the fighter are all at 3s. Wow. Okay, they all miss. And then the destroyer is at a 4. Okay, that is also a miss. So that's it. Combat's over, and we're not able to kill him. So let's go into non-combat movement. Okay, let's keep you down here. So this fighter is going to go back to Zhejiang. All right, I landed the EGFs and the medium bomber from North Vietnam back in Guangxi. The medium bomber from Laos, who had to retreat, is going to go back to Quyen Chai, there in the middle. These 3 boats are going to go in port there in Guangxi. The rest of the Chinese fleet here is going to go in port as well. Oh, I forgot to roll the anti-ship missile strike against the Taiwan fleet. All right, let's see if I can get a hit there. Nope, didn't matter. Okay. All right, there's that. Then the amphibious assault ship is going to go import in Zhejiang. Let's put him right there and put an import marker on him later. The air superiority fighter will go back to Zhejiang. The Air Legion fighter will go back to Zhejiang. We're doing some shuffling here. So the SPAG will go from Inner Mongolia to Ganzhou. The SAM will go from Beijing to Inner Mongolia. And the SAM will go from Zhejiang to Beijing. The light infantry will also, one light infantry will also go from Beijing to Inner Mongolia. And then just for counterattacking possible purposes, we'll push the paramilitary from Tibet into Qinghai, give them a nice centralized location there where they could counterattack from. Okay, now let's place units. Okay, so in Zhejiang, we'll put a SPAG at the minor army base. In Guangxi, we will build 2 light infantry and a SPAG, and a field artillery at the major army base. Up in Beijing, we will put, and there's an army card here in Beijing, right there, which you can see here. So we'll add 2 more early gen MBTs. We'll add a field artillery, and our light infantry that came out of the Taiwan Invasion Force will also go in there. Okay, let's roll right into collect income. Okay, we did capture 2, or we did win 2 battles that turn. So that's 2 battle stars. Our base income is 12. So there's 12 IPP base income. And then we do get the bonus for P16. That's 2 more. That takes us to 14. And unfortunately, we're hoping to get the Laos bonus as well, but we're not going to get that. So yeah, 14 IPP and 2 battle stars heading into turn 7. And let's recap victory points. Okay, so into turn 6, victory points. Soviet Far East Command has 1 for Northern Manchuria, 2 for Central Manchuria, 2 for Southern Manchuria, that's 5. They have 1 for West Malaysia, that's 6. And they have 2 for Alaska for a total of 8. So we'll put 8 chips under there and no subtractions. U.S. Pacific Command has 0 victory points. So no chips for them. China has 1 victory point for North Vietnam. So end of turn 6, Soviet Far East Command 8, China 1, U.S. Pacific Command 2. We'll see y'all for turn 7. Take care.